Thanks for tuning back in with us. Thanks for watching all the videos. Today we're going to be covering the Dexter 9 through 15K oil bath axle. This one happened to have electric brakes. Occasionally we'll see one of these with no brakes, but most of the time they're going to have brakes. But what we're going to be covering today is how to properly reinstall the hub, whether you've taken it off for service, whether you've taken it off for a failure, how to put the spindle nut back on, how to get the proper bearing adjustment so when you get this thing back together, it will stay together, it will function properly, you won't have any of that premature wear, and you can keep on traveling or making money, whatever you do with your tow unit, and just kind of show you, hopefully answer any questions you may have about installation, removal, and reinstallation of the spindle nut and bearing adjustment. So I have a new Dexter 10K axle with brakes, oil bath. I have removed the cap, but I have not touched any of the hardware, any of the retaining hardware. We're going to remove that, and that way you can see just how tight it is. So on this setup, you're going to have two nuts, and then you're going to have a retainer that goes in between those nuts, and then you will have a washer that goes up against the bearing. So I'm going to show how to remove that. This would be if you're doing a brake service, maybe you've had an issue replacing bearing seals, whatever it might be. Sometimes this is overlooked, installed too tight or too loose, so you don't have proper adjustment. The bearings are too tight, or if they're too loose, you can cause overheating, premature bearing wear. On this drum, you may have a Dexter setup. If you'll notice, the cap on this one's a little bit different. They did do a production change. I'm gonna wipe some of the oil off of this. So this is a good aluminum cap, but they do bolt on now like some of your semi trucks. I do like this setup. It is less likely to come off. The seal will be pretty good. The only thing I don't like about it, it's just another part that you're going to have to source, another part that, you know, suppliers are going to keep in stock. So sometimes, even though production changes are good, it is a headache because it's another part we have to add to the shelf. And, you know, depending on what setup you have, it may be hard to find that on the cap. So if you have this setup, I would recommend ordering you an extra cap just in case you were to knock one off, or if you go to do a tire change and they go to knock one off. But be careful, because Dexter does make their own cap. While that looks similar, it is not. This is going to be for the old style drum that is threaded on the inside. This screws on. This is a bolt on with an Allen screw, so don't make the mistake and buy the wrong one. Make sure you get the right one. So the first thing we're going to do, see if we can get the camera in here. There's some tabs that are bent over. You have one there, and there should be one more. Yeah, one right there. We need to bend those up in order to get this outer nut. So I'm just gonna take a small chisel. Doesn't take much. What I will say, if you have the screw-in style cap, the hub does protrude out farther, so getting this nut and this is going to be a little tighter. You will have the hub coming all the way out to here, so you have to be careful. If you do slip, do not contact the inner threads with your chisel or your punch, whatever you're using, and cause yourself some grief there. It's easy to do. Let's pop this outer nut off real quick. It's going to be pretty tight. Hopefully I can get it off without spinning the axle. So we're going to try to keep that retainer in place. I just want to see how tight the nut is. Like I said, I have not touched this. This is straight from the factory. And if you'll notice this, it has two tabs bent inward to hold the inner nut in. So let's see how tight it is. I'm going to take my fingers, take it off. It's hand tight, a little less than hand tight. So we're going to pull it all the way off. Here is our inner washer. Sometimes you may have to take a pick. And again, like I said, if you have the older style hub, this is great for the video because you can see it a little bit better, but the hub on the older style sticks out farther, so it's a little harder to work on. So here's your inner washer. Also, depending on what year model you have, the washer may look a little different depending on what vendor they're using to manufacture the washer, or if they're manufacturing in-house. So just note that. If you go into a parts store, as long as your shaft size is okay, no matter if it looks a little bit different, you'll likely be fine. But just do a comparison. Anytime you go in to buy parts, they could be aftermarket, could be import compared to domestic. Just make sure they work. Not everything's created equal. Sometimes on the domestic stuff, not everything's created equal either. So just always handle your parts. It's a good idea to take your parts with you to the parts store. It will help the guys and gals that work our parts counters serve you better and to get you in and out a little quicker. So this would be, I'm not going to take this drum down because in my opinion, anytime you remove the drum on an oil bath axle, you need to replace the seal. Seals to me on an oil bath are one-time use. I know that we have people that reuse oil bath seals. I know of shops that reuse oil bath seals. That's not me. If it's coming off, whether it's a grease or an oil, seals go in the trash, get a new seal installed. We're not going to cover the seal installation video. I believe we have a video on that. I will look in our archives. If we do, we'll leave that in the description below. We'll leave a link to that. So how do you reinstall it? What's the proper way? We did a video here recently talking about axles that are smaller, so we'll leave a link on that one. It's similar to that, but there's a few changes. This is going to be a little harder. It's a little bit bigger of a nut, but this would cover anywhere from a 9K up to a 15K. Your 12 through 15 is going to be a bigger size nut. It's going to be bigger bearings. It's going to be bigger everything, but the method is still the same. One thing I will say, I get a lot of questions as far as specs, and I don't mind answering them when I can. I can't answer every question, and I will tell you right now, I've been doing this a long time, but I don't have every spec to everything memorized. Whether I'm working on one of my automobiles and a torque spec, I keep lots of books. There's not as many books as you once had. A lot of stuff is online. If you have Dexter, if you have Lippert, most of that stuff is online. Or if you have hard copies of those, you need to have that whether you're working on your trailer or your tow vehicle. There's a lot of stuff in that manual that tells you when you need to change your belts, when you may need to change a timing belt, maybe if you're on a car, when you need to change your front bearings. A lot of service intervals on there. It's the same thing on most trailers. All major manufacturers are going to have some type of owner's manual, whether it's a paper copy. A lot of them have went to just putting a QR code on the side of the trailer. I like that. If you're out in the parking lot, you can take a shot of that. But with that, you have to know which size axle, what size suspension you're running, those kind of items in order to get the correct information for whatever your unit is. Go strictly to Dexter. It's going to show you the breakdown of every axle they manufacture, and it's going to cover most of any question you would need to ask me as far as how to do it. Now you may need some help beyond that, and that's when you're going to ask somebody that's qualified, whether that be, you know, family member, a shop, or whoever, or go searching on YouTube. If you go into a shop, you will have a better understanding of what they're supposed to be doing. So I'm going to quit rambling. I don't want to be a rambler, not a rambling man, just on YouTube. So we're going to go ahead and show it how to reinstall this, how to do it to Dexter factory spec, put this back together, wrap it up, and so you have a better understanding and you can keep on going on the road. So the first thing we're going to do is put the inner washer in. That's the one I took out, and it's got a little notch in the keyway there that goes in. Now on this one, this is brand new. It'll be fine to reuse this tang washer. As I've said in other videos, if it looks like it's been, you know, if you don't know how many times it's been bent, just try to pick you up a new one if that's available to you, just so you know that you don't have one of these tabs break off and it get into your bearing setup and eat it all to pieces. So that fits on there good. We're gonna put the inner nut on. This is the most critical nut, in my opinion. So we're gonna put this nut on, we're gonna get it close. And this is where it's gonna be very similar to the smaller axles. The difference is we are gonna move to a torque wrench. This needs to be torqued 9 through 15K Dexter needs to be torqued to 100 foot-pounds. You need to spin the drum while you're torquing it. It doesn't have to spin constantly, but it needs to be spinning. Once you get your final torque, then we'll show you what to do with there. So I've got my torque wrench set to 100. I'm gonna have to get somebody to back me up on the other side, likely. Oh, there it is right there. Hear the click. Let me ask you this. If you're a torque guy, are you a double clicker or you just rely on the single click? That is a big debate and will probably cause lots of arguments in the comments. I'm not gonna read any of those, so just have at it if that's what you wanna do. So now you've got it torqued to 100 foot-pounds. Now we need to take off the load. I never use a torque wrench to take off a load. It does have reverse on there. I'm just not a fan of doing that. I was taught by the old guys, use a different wrench. Don't use your torque wrench to back stuff off. Whether it's important or not, I don't know, but they knew what they was doing, so I trusted them. So I'm gonna bump this loose, and you don't wanna move the drum anymore. You wanna leave it set. If for some reason you accidentally get your arm on here and move this, I'm gonna recommend that you start the process over. Take the full load off, spin your drum, and go back to 100. So we've taken the full load off, so you can see it's loose, and now it says to hand tighten. Now, how tight is your hand tight? I have no clue. It may not be as tight as mine. What you really want to look for in this, you want to make sure that that drum is seated. If you feel the drum slip or fall, maybe you're on the side of the road and your trailer's at an angle, if it moves, you need to start the process over. You should have no movement in this, whether that be left or right, in and out. You don't want any in play in there to mess up your torque setting. So once you hand tight this, they're going to say 1/4 to 3/8 of a turn. So you can pretend this is 12 o'clock. Where would 1/4 be? It'd be right in here, right? So we're going to move it to there. It's about 1/4. Now, one thing I did do, I didn't show, I did bend my tabs back out flat just to make the install a little easier, and I want to show you a little trick. So it's going to recommend, if you look at your owner's manual, to install this, then bend your tabs over. I will tell you, when you go to bend that tab over, it's going to try to kick the retainer out. So what I like to do, but you have to be careful when you do this, I like to go ahead and install my outer nut, but I do not get it tight. I'm just using it for a 3rd set of hands. So I'm going to get it just right there, just to basically snug that so it's not bringing the retainer out when I go to bend my tabs over. You're going to install 2 tabs. I'm trying to stay out of the way of the camera. And you can use a punch, you can use a brass punch, just whatever you've got. I've seen some people use a screwdriver. You just want to make sure you don't move your inner nut. So once you've got that, go ahead and make sure that's on snug. And you want to install your outer nut. The torque spec on that is 100 to 175. So there's a pretty good sized window there, so you can just pick something in the middle. What I like to do when you have a torque variance, you know, maybe do a pre-torque. So we're gonna do a pre-torque on 100. See if I can keep the drum for a spin it. Okay, there's 100, I'm gonna bump it up. Should go to 150. Oh, it's a little harder to do when you're on a set of jack stands. I'm gonna spin it just a little bit to catch this right here. Now that should be a little easier. Now we can get it. Okay, so now that we've done that, it's very important to bend your outer tabs. These are gonna be harder. If you have the regular hub, it is tempting just to stick this in there and to push back, and you can do that, but if you do it on its edge, it can damage the internal threads. We see that all the time. Those threads are hard to chase out, to fix. So I would recommend doing it flat, using something brass, using something a little easier. On this, you have a little more room to get to it. You're going to want to bend 2 tabs as well. So I'm going to start with these, and I'm just going to start with this one and get it started. I'm going to start with that one and get that one started. Let's see if we can get them bent over. And that's it. You have proper bearing adjustment. At this time, you're either going to screw your cap on, or you're going to, this one, you're going to have to put some sealant on it. This does have a gasket. If you've compromised the gasket in any way, make sure that you get a new gasket for that, whether you're putting a new cap on or just replacing it. Then refill the oil to the proper level. We have a video on proper oil refill. In your owner's manual, you can also check the spec of what oil, what viscosity, what you're supposed to run in these. So do yourself a favor, find the owner's manual, whether you keep that on a, give yourself a link on a PDF on your phone. for your axles. For, you know, if it's a Dexter component or a Lippert component, they have an owner's manual for every component that's on your unit. A lot of those have a tech line, so a lot of those answers you can get yourself, and you need to know that. Just give yourself some general knowledge. So hopefully this was helpful. Be sure to check the description below. We'll leave some links to some of the products we use. We did use an axle socket for this, so if you know which size it is, that's pretty handy. It's a lot easier. It's hard to get a proper torque with a crescent wrench or a pair of channel locks. Back in the old school way, we use a chisel and done it this way. That does work. If you know about where a 100 foot-pounds is, that's the way I was trained. That's the way the old school guys did it. I never seen a torque wrench on one of these, so I know how to do it both ways. But for these purposes, I'm going to recommend doing it how the manufacturer recommends to do it. So thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you down the road.